Welcome to this week's edition of the Pioneer Coaches Show. With me now, head track and field coach Dan Meyers. Coach, thanks for being here today.
Jagger, thanks for having me.
Coach, this past weekend you were at West Virginia. Had another school record, a lot of PRs. I believe it was 16 personal bests. Just your thoughts on the meet.
Our team, just really proud of the team. Their patience, their willingness to sit out in the cold. Our bus pulled in about 9. I held them on the bus for a little bit because just kind of the cold, and we pulled out at 10:15 that night. So
it's a long meet.
That was a long meet, long day. And I just appreciate, and something that I think we've improved on in years past is that they made our job as coaches easier, just kind of with the energy, just the support for their teammates, and just, focusing on just what they needed to do, doing their job, if you will. So I was really, really proud of just how, they, their mindset was just, for the team and everything during the day. And to come away with that many personal bests was unexpected, to be honest. And we always just preach ideal conditions. Like last year, throughout the year, we didn't have the best weather. And I said, listen, conference could be like this. And it was.
Frostburg was terrible at conference.
Yes. So, I think that, it's good experience for the athletes. And I will say that because of the longevity of us being out the cold, it was probably some of the coldest one of the colder meets I've ever been a part of. I was frozen. So I will take what we got out of it. And huge shout out to Kim Halsey for improving her school record to 3.05 and had some attempts at 320. And that's a different level, 305 to 320. And she's going to take that step. So proud of her and proud of the senior campaign that she started out with.
And we talked before the show, you didn't have some PRs for like Natalie Barr, Christian Hanlon, but Natalie had a really good run. Christian had he rolled really well in the hammer. Just your thoughts on how they performed.
So Christian competed on Friday. The hammer throwers, they had some really nice weather, calm, 50, 60 degrees. And Christian took advantage of it. And he's ranked second in the conference right now. And not quite a PR, but a great series, some 47, some 46s, started out with a 45, 50s coming for him. And I just like where he's at this year compared to last year in terms of consistency, and how he communicates with Coach Johnson and some of the things that they're working on tweaking. And Coach Johnson has done a phenomenal job with our throwers, and one of the best throwers coaches I've been around in my career. And the kids are responding well to him.
And someone like Christian, who he specializes in one event, has that been helpful for him in his improvement over the past couple of years?
Yeah, it has. And there's just a lot of different, as a non-throws coach, you explain, kind of breaking it down, but there's just a lot of intricacies to the hammer that I think that where his level is. The hammer is really important. Like if you're throwing like 40 meters as opposed to 50 meters, that's a different level of hammer thrower. As opposed to shot, you're probably teaching the same cues. And what Coach Johnson has done with Christian, since he's at this different level, like we're training for 50 meters, there's just some different cues that he's been giving him that they've been working on that I don't think that we could do if he was doing another event. And along with our men's shot field is really deep. So Christian could go out there and have a great huck and, might be our fourth best shot guy. So
it's a good problem to have.
Yeah, absolutely. So, men's shot put in our conference this year, it took a huge step forward. So just focusing Christian on it. And he puts, as much time in that one event as, some of the guys put in all. And so I think it's a good move and it's really, really worked out for us.
And you've started out the year, you have 2 meets under your belt, both Division I meets, faced a lot of Division I competition. Now you head to West Liberty this coming weekend. Your expectations there?
So obviously we're hoping for a little bit better weather with Easter weekend. I'm not sure what how many teams are going to be competing, but we're going full fledged with pretty much the whole roster. Excited to compete against a conference school at a conference at a conference school. And my expectations for this weekend is to try and improve some marks for some of our top athletes, but also like Aaron Cuffman, we're putting him in the open 4, kind of focusing on the shorter hurdles this week. There could be a potential for a final, so he could get 2 runs at it. Which that's huge. And going to these smaller meets is super, the word I'm looking for. It's super beneficial to our group this time of the year because our throwers could get 6 throws. Some of our jumpers could get more opportunities. So we're hoping to get as many people into the top 9 of their event so they can get 3 extra throws. And we're looking forward to with what Bowie and Bauman did this past weekend in men's shot. If they get 6 throws again, that'd be huge for the program.
Well, Coach, good luck this weekend, and we appreciate you coming on today.
Yep. Thanks, Jagger. Thanks for having me.
Welcome back to this week's edition of the Pioneer Coaches Show. With me now, I have head acrobatics and tumbling coach Taylor Broadwater. Coach, thanks for being here today.
Thanks for having me again.
This past week, you were at Notre Dame, a team that's really came on as of late. You won by about 10 points. Just your thoughts on the meet.
I'm really happy with that meet overall. I think finally the girls were able to go out on the mat and be very relaxed and basically compete how I expected them to compete. It was a good environment. There was a pretty good crowd, so that helped too. But just watching the girls go out and execute things that we have spent multiple hours working on and trying to get them to relax and compete how we should be able to. Mm-hmm. I felt like the girls really went out this week. They were confident in what they were doing. They were happy when they were running off the floor. Every time they got off, they were like, Coach, that felt really good. What do you think that's going to score? And just knowing that they were that excited obviously made me excited and just I think proved to the girls what we're capable of this season. It kind of came on a little late right now, but I think we're going to be able to finish the season strong now after that performance.
Because you're coming off a tough meet against the Cuts-Down. You lost by, I think it was 0.7 there, but you turn around, you have 5 season highs, you tie another one, 3 of 9.8s or more. Just your thoughts on you spoke about it a little bit, but like Savannah Duckworth, for example, just the growth of these girls over the year.
Mm-hmm. So Savannah's definitely an athlete to watch out for. She's proven to be a fighter, and she's done that meet after meet. She's had little slips up here and there. She's human.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
So that's something to, I think, take into consideration with her. She knows how to fight back. Like one event might not go the way that we expected or the way we want to. She can turn around and take that event and turn it into a really high score because, she gets upset with herself and then pushes herself harder. So that's something that I love being able to coach her in that aspect. She's a fighter and she'll fight for that team through anything. So I think she's definitely an athlete that's kind of really helped the team in that aspect. Peyton Sminsky, I know we've talked about her before, but another athlete that's very hard on herself. And obviously she got Specialist of the Week, so that was big a couple weeks ago, but she's been able to turn that into an event that she's made hers. Pyramid event, she week after week after week, she's putting in the work. And our scores in that event, for the most part, I do feel like are showing what we're capable of, what we're putting on the floor. There's been a few meets here and there where I've thought that we've done better than what we've received on scores, but this past meet, again, they went back-to-back 9.9s, and Heat 1 was a 9.5. It wasn't our best, but it still wasn't bad by any means. 9.5 is not bad, but
at all.
Definitely turned Pyramid into her event, and I think the team has really kind of rallied around Pyramids. And obviously after that loss a couple weeks ago, the team has been in fight mode. They're nonstop now. They're not going to stop at any cost to get better and improve. This week we worked really hard on tumbling, an event that we have definitely lacked in per se. They know that. They know we need to kick it up a notch. I will say watch out for Maddie Hahn this week. She's putting a new pass on the floor, and I'm excited to see what she executes there, trying to get back into some MEC event final events and qualifications. So just trying to push the team here in the last couple weeks to see what we can really turn it into.
Yeah, because you speak on that, because you're coming up against West Virginia State. The scores aren't going to be close. How do you get your girls to make sure they're not just going through the motion? Oh, we know we're going to win. We got this in the bag. But this is a really good opportunity for them to really perfect what they're doing. How do you get them to make sure they don't go through the motions?
So that's something that we've hit on a lot, really in the last couple weeks, just trying to get them to focus on us, doing what we're capable of, because at the end of the day, our scores still matter for MECs, for qualifications for nationals, and just knowing that every meet counts at this point. And I've really hit on the last couple of practices, like this will never be this team again. We lose a lot of seniors this season, and this will never be the team that we put on the floor again. And we have a great team this year. I'm extremely proud of what they've accomplished and just the adversity that we've gone through from the beginning. So I told them, let's just push for 2 more weeks and let's see what we can get from this team, because you guys are good and you have a lot of opportunity to finish very, very strong and to show the MEC what you're capable of. So just, I think getting that in their head and them knowing, like, obviously at the last meet, we did score some pretty good scores. Acro's improved significantly across the board. So just watching that and pushing them this week through practice, I think it's really helped them to see the bigger picture. And again, that loss really just kickstarted something in them that I've not seen before. So it really lit a fire, and proven now. Like, they're ready to fight and finish strong and see where we end up in the MEC.
Well, Coach, we appreciate you coming on today, and good luck this week.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Welcome back to this week's edition of the Pioneer Coaches Show. With me now, I have head softball coach Sara Scoone. Coach, thanks for being here today.
Thanks for having me.
Busy week this past week. You started out at Concord on Wednesday, split there. First game, you're down late, 1-0 in the sixth, come back, score 3 runs, close it out. Your thoughts on that first game?
You know, that first game, we hit the ball pretty well, actually.
Couldn't find the holes.
We did, yeah. We just found no holes,
Mm-hmm.
and then finally Emma broke it open with a home run to tie it, and then it just kind of took off from there. It's not that we weren't hitting the ball; we just weren't scoring runs. And then you go into the second game, and not to jump your question, Jagger.
No, you're fine.
And then you go
Helps
into
out.
the second game, and again, same thing. We just wait too long to score, and that game got the best of us. So definitely moving forward, we have to get a little bit more energy quicker in the game.
Yeah, because do you think that's kind of a sense of urgency thing, kind of waiting a little bit too long
Yes.
in a sense?
Yes, it really is. You have, and this isn't an excuse, but when you have the majority of your team young, the priority sometimes gets a little mixed up, and coaches know what I mean by that. But when you move forward, you just have to make sure that they understand every at bat counts. It's not really, I know it's how you finish is really what matters, but when you're in the game, it's from start to finish. You got to get going quick.
And then you turned on Saturday, Washington Wesleyan. The team came in struggling. They were 0-6. They picked this weekend to turn it on. I believe they after they beat you guys twice, they went and beat Concord twice as well. Your thoughts on those first 2 games, especially that first one? You're leading early, and it kind of flipped the table there late.
Wesleyan's a lot better than their record. I believe they split with Concord.
Yeah, that is right. Yes.
That's all right. But they are a lot better than that record. They always have been. They're an aggressive team. They're also a young team. Again, we waited way too long. And when we came out, we lost that fire after we scored the 4 runs. So that goes hand in hand with the urgency in the beginning. It's urgency always. Taking your foot off the pedal in this sport and thinking that you have something in the bag is exactly what the softball gods will come at you for. But yeah, Wesleyan's a great team. They're an aggressive team. They also have had some really high scoring games. So that was, not something that I didn't expect. We just need to play better.
Yeah, and you went Sunday. You started out the day really well, 6-0 win. Holly went the full complete game, only gave up 2 hits, struck out 12. Before we hit on the second one, just your thoughts on that first game.
The first game was definitely better through and through. The girls came out firing again, 1 through 7, not just, 1 inning kind of thing. Goodman had 3 RBIs too. That helped a ton. That got the girls going. It's just, so give or take right now. And I'm going to jump the gun going into the second game, but you get into the second game and, the fire again, it just died down. And that comes with experience. That comes with, just hindsight of knowing anyone can win at any time, and you need to just play better 1 through 7.
How do you, in that sense, because it was a 6-1 game, turned 7-1. You have that late push in the 7th inning, but it's too late again. How do you get your girls just to have that sense of urgency that we got to go now?
It's hard. It comes with confidence. A lot of the girls need more confidence when they're in the box. They need to be more comfortable in the box. They also need to learn to understand to rely on their teammates while also being accountable for their own role. I think it's easy in this sport to sometimes when someone's on fire to rely on them being on fire. And then vice versa, you look at someone who may be struggling in the box and you have, a dugout full of talented players who can step in at any minute and help that out. In the fall, we talked about that being like an Excel sheet, like if I don't understand how to input something, I'm going to pass it over to my coworker here and they're going to input it and help me out. And then I'll get it back and I'll start right where I left off. But right now we're really struggling at the consistency side of things. Once they hit that mark, they'll take off. And, I believe in this group. I think they're a great bunch of players. They're also a great bunch of people. And once they learn how to really hit the nail on the head there, they'll take off.
And we talked about it, walking into the show today. It's not going to get any easier.
No.
You travel to Charleston State this coming weekend, Easter weekend. Charleston, who swept you earlier in the year, you played well against them. You stuck with them, especially that second game. State, you split. First game kind of felt like you should have won. Just your expectations going into this weekend.
Charleston's a great team. State's a great team. When you go in and you play a great team, you have to believe that you're great too. There's no such thing. That's why I hate the mercy rule in this sport. I believe that anyone could win at any minute. You never know. You could have a 20-run inning. You just never know in this sport. But regardless, you have to go into the game, expecting to play great and expecting to do the little things right and, get your bunts down and pass the ball around and make this routine plays. And, you don't need to be a hero. You just got to do your job right and then, rely on your teammates to do their job right. And things will usually go in that order and then give you a good result.
It was a tough week for the team, but Kylie Goodman, we've always, joked, the best third baseman east of the Mississippi.
East of the Mississippi.
Just your thoughts on her performances here lately. I mean, she's been not only hitting the ball well, but she's showing the leather. She's really playing well.
I mean, she's just I call her, I say Goody for her last name. Here we go, Goody. But she's just a dog, and she, is so fire and so one speed, and she just doesn't get rattled easily. And, that comes with the experience because who Kylie was as a freshman and the uncertainty that she had at times. And now she's in the box and she's confident and she owns it. And, you can always see, too, when a player steps in the box when they're about to do something well, whether it's on your side or not. There's just that, aura about them. And right now she has that aura and she's holding it tight to her and she's working hard. She's also just such an athlete. I mean, oh my gosh. And talk about her work ethic too, with the one-on-one hitting all the time. And, she works hard in the weight room, does extra hours in there. She hits by herself nonstop. I mean, you just got to respect her game.
Well, Coach, we appreciate you coming on today and good luck this weekend.
Thank you.
Welcome back to this week's edition of the Pioneer Coaches Show. With me, I've head baseball coach Jimmy Mullins. Coach, thanks for being here today.
Thank you for having me.
This past weekend, Coach, you won 3 out of 4. Started the weekend out with a 15-8 loss to Salem. I want to talk about that first. They were up early. You came back, made it a 5-5 game, and then they exploded for 9 runs in the 6th. Just your thoughts on that game.
Yeah, so Salem is they're a good program. They can swing it. They run the bases well. Their pitchers just really come at the hitters and throw a lot of strikes. They don't waste a lot of time in between pitches, and just the arms that we had going that day just couldn't throw strikes. And when you throw more balls than strikes, that's just the formula of a loss there. So there's been a couple times where our bullpen has given up too many runs in one inning for sure. Mm-hmm. So that's something that we're really focused on, trying to get our bullpen better, because if we are able to make the tournament, they don't realize this because they're freshmen, and we keep trying to tell them, but they're 9-inning games in the tournament. Often you have to play back-to-back games, sometimes 3 games in a day if you're in the loser's bracket. And it's just really important that we need everyone. And the year that we were 35-17 and made the tournament run, we used guys that didn't hardly throw all year long, and all of a sudden they're in this pivotal role. So mentally they got to lock in. And, our season, just making a tournament or not, it's going to come down to our bullpen.
Yep.
We're going to be athletic, trying to score runs, and our starters are going to give us good enough starts to figure it out. And when they're not perfect, we need our bullpen to come in a little bit earlier. We got a guy at Landis at the back of it that can kind of close it down for us and give us a good chance there. But our long guys and our bullpen guys, we need that 5th and 6th inning sometimes. We need guys to step up, and they're not doing it. And it's been a focus of ours. It's a mentality above all. My coach at West Virginia State, he's in the National Hall of Fame and all that. He said it's not your horse crap mechanics, it's your horse crap thoughts. Mm-hmm. And that's what it is. They get out there and pitching and hitting. There's so many moving parts. Your brain just can't give all these commands about where your foot is and your hand is. And some of them are worried about that. Some of them are worried about just the fear of being hit. Some of them I found out worried about some other uncontrollables. That's just wild to me. So it's a process of trying to reach them. We can sit around and complain about them, and they're not doing this, they're not doing that. But the role of the coaching staff is coach and to help them get better, and that's what we're trying to do. Because if we can get some of those bullpen guys better, I think we can have a really, really, really good team. And and even if they don't, we're going to have a good team. But it's really going to help us if they can figure it out. So that's kind of what happened there. Long-winded answer. But it's kind of the state of our program as well. Mm-hmm. And, as you see, our starting pitching has been good. If we can get our bullpen guys, some of that stuff right there in that game 1 won't happen.
Yeah, because you talk about the starting pitching. You turned around in game 2 of the day. Cole Grady threw 4 innings, had a no-hitter. 5th inning got a little shaky, gave up 3 runs there, but the bats came alive. You had 4 home runs that day. 4 different guys hit a home run. What kind of changed from that first game to that second game?
So our guys are getting better at bounce back. College baseball is different because you play a game and then you got 30 minutes and you got to play another game.
Yep.
And then you got 8 hours and you're playing another game. And in 30 minutes you're playing another game, and all of them count. Mm-hmm. So whether you lose 50-0 or you win 1-0, it counts as a loss, counts as a win, and then you got to come back and play another one. So our guys we've been trying to do things in practice to get them to transition from one thing to another, switch their mentality, no matter if it was failure or success. And I think our guys are doing a better job of leaving the game behind us, whether we won or lost, and being able to come back. And another thing is, when we're playing at home, especially, we're in the field first. So when that starting pitcher comes out and attacks the strike zone, throws with intent, and gets us off the field quickly, then it just sets the mentality for the hitters to come in.
Energy,
exactly. And we get momentum. So the pitching staff is so important because they set the tone and the mentality. Even if we hit first and we're the visiting team, once we get in the field, our pitchers have to attack the zone, and that helps us, and we did that in the second game.
Yeah, because you turned around on Sunday, and we've talked about before, every game is important. It's a playoff game pretty much. Salem didn't count, obviously, because of they're not in the league, but Notre Dame did. You turn around Sunday, only gave up 6 total hits as a pitching staff on the day. That first game, Julian gave you 4 2/3, gave up 2 runs. And you talked about getting that 5th, 6th guy. Diego gave you the rest of the 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th. Only gave up 1 hit in that game. You won 6-2. Your thoughts on that game?
Oh my! He's on fire!
Yeah, so although the games didn't count versus Salem, they were regional games. So I was challenging our guys to be, because we want to be a regional type program.
Obviously, yes.
And that's what we're building to, and that's our goal here. But our mentality was really good that we wanted to win those games, where I think in past years, we struggled sometimes midweek games, and all coaches talk about this in baseball, trying to get their guys up to play those. It was a test. It was a challenge. I was really looking to see how they were going to respond to this with them not being, counting in the standings. And even though we lost that first game, like I said, the bounce back, I was really, really pleased with our program. It shows maturity. And again, some of the leaders on the field, they're to credit for that. But Sunday, yes, being able to turn around and get another sweep in conference play. That's the second program we've been able to sweep here early. So that really helps us in the standings and helps us get started here in our conference season.
Because in that second game, Austin Korn went the full 7, gave up 3 runs, and they were late, 3 hits. His performance, what do you think of that? Because, last week we talked about it. He went 6 innings against Frostburg. Now he goes 7 against Notre Dame. Your thoughts on his performances?
Yeah, it was really, really awesome to see him perform well again. We know him coming off a little bit of a setback there. And, his second straight performance, that was good and strong. And there's just little things that he's maturing and growing on that's helping him. He's less worried about things he can't control. He's starting to learn pitching. He's learning the game more. And when he's not pitching, when he's not the starter, he's down around the end of the dugout where we are, trying to learn things and help out with things where, sometimes you have some other starters that may, throw and they're done and they'll just kind of go check out somewhere where, Korn is involved with the game. He's involved with the other pitchers. He knows how important it is for other guys to perform and play well, and he's involved, and I think that helps him on the mound because a lot of his learning comes just standing there next to us and other players and learning and being able to implement that into his game.
And you speak about momentum, energy. You guys got all of it right now. You're 5-1 in conference play heading into this weekend. Big weekend at West Liberty and Wheeling. West Lib comes in 4-4. Wheeling 3-5 in the Northern Division. Wheeling, a team you've already saw twice this year at the Wilson Tobbs Classic. Your expectations there this weekend?
Well, I expect to to come with that attitude and effort, and it's something that we talk about and we're maturing on. Is no matter what's going to happen, we have to create our own feeling, right? We have to act our way into feeling really good. Whether we're 5-1 or 1-5, I expect us to act the exact same way. If someone shows up at the ballpark's never seen us play before, I want them to look down that mountain over there and see us, the field, and see our side and say, those guys are playing with confidence. Those guys are playing with energy. And it looks like they've never lost a game in their life just by the way they're acting. So that's what I expect. And I believe that if we keep that focus of one pitch at a time, then we should have a good weekend.
Well, Coach, we appreciate you coming on today, and good luck this weekend.
Thank you, guys.